Hello, I'm Dennis Rubin.
I'm Chief Hendon.
And without a doubt, we're here to tell you we're glad to have you in this special edition of Putting Out Fires. Today, we're going to be talking about our command process and the next component that we've been able to purchase to continue in this program. Chief Hendon, as you well know, has been heading up this project, and I cannot tell you how proud I am of this man. Chief, can we get started?
Yes, sir.
Let's open up the back of the buggy. You'll notice that it's a little different compared to the way it once was. Underneath that carpet that we're going to take out, we're going to put right on the floor below, is our new command box. The command box design comes from the New York City Fire Department. They've got quite a lot of years in this business, as you would probably guess, and I think they've made an outstanding one. With this, we're going to be able to do several things. We're going to be able to determine what our incident action plan is, where we're at in the operation, and also accountability. Anything you want to add, Chief, at this point?
Not yet.
Okay, as you can see, we're going to pull it out just a little bit. So there's going to be actually 3 positions. If it's a very small incident, let's say it's a smoking light ballast at McDonald's, probably going to leave it exactly where Chief Hinton showed you. We're going to open it up, and at that point, we'll work out of the buggy. But we're going to make the point, we're thinking it's going to get a little bit bigger incident, not too huge. You'll notice on the side, there's a container for a couple of legs. And we're going to put just the 2 legs in at this point on the very, very front of the box. We're going to lift it up there, Chief. They go in, they snap in, and they're actually magnetized. So at this point, you can begin to see that the box getting a little bit more stable. When we open it up, got to watch your fingers. That doggone snap is very, very tight. And then what's the very first thing we're going to do? Let's put that chalk down. What do you say?
This special thing called a chalk lid.
I know. It looks pretty silly, but without it, what would happen is the top of this containment would be able to fall. The top portion has got all the information that the incident commander, in this case, Swede, would need to have to be able to manage the incident, whether it's doing primary or secondary search and rescue, what command positions are being handled, incident information, address type, exposures, etc. And then he's also developed a whole list of companies. The companies that you've been able to pick out are the actual ones, is that right?
Yes, so the reds, just like the passport system, are the pumpers. The dark blues are the rescues. The greens are the truck companies. The light blue is the medic units. Orange is for safety officer. White is for chief officer. And when you come down here, you'll see we have a brown, which is for our brush buggies and our boats. Yellow for hazmat and EMS supervisors and tanker 8.
And I also notice you've laid it out by battalion. Why is that important, Chief?
It's easier for us when we're having a house fire because we have multiple units coming from different districts possibly. With it laid out by battalion, it's easier for us to know where we're trying to find the units at, and it just makes the process go a little bit more smoothly.
Outstanding. The top of the board has a surface that you're able to write upon. It's also magnetic. You probably have guessed that, as you can hear the magnet click into place, so we can place the magnets on this section or that section of the board. And then, of course, it's got a basic layout where you can begin identifying where the building is, where the fire apparatus might be laid, or rather where they've stopped, where the hose lines can be laid rather, whether there's fire department connections, and all of that data can be manufactured and captured, actually captured right on this board. Inside, that's right, there's some more goodies. First of all, there's a couple of clipboards that I want to share with you. The chiefs are continuing to improve this operation. I cannot tell you how proud I am of not just the 3 shift commanders, but of the 9 battalion chiefs as well. The first clipboard that he's going to pull out has got a detailed explanation of what's happening at a gas leak. The area, the time, what the readings were. If you've ever been on a gas leak, which of course everyone has by now, you know you're chasing down like a detective almost information. So we've got all those sections, 6 sections in the building, and then it goes through the gases, and then you can begin putting the percentages. Remember, when we talk about a part per million, it takes 10,000 parts per million to equal 1% by volume. And if you're there doing math and you're really good at math, when you get up to 1 million parts per million, or that's right, 1 million parts per million, it happens to be 100%. If you flip over in the back like the chief has done, what information is that?
This is all the carbon monoxide and parts per million you have to worry about as far as when to evacuate people, when to remove them.
And why did you have me particularly pick carbon monoxide?
That's mostly because of this time of year, because of our furnaces. We're probably, if we haven't ran them already, we will be. But just, it's the information you should already know, but it's just a reminder. These are the levels when we start evacuating people and moving people.
And of course, that's probably the most likely type of hazardous materials or hazardous gas or a atmospheric problem that we're going to have will be with CO. If it happens to be natural gas, which is also another one, pretty much all we have to remember when we hit 10% of the lower explosive limit, it's time to evacuate. It's a little simpler. Although it is a simple asphyxiant, carbon monoxide is much more difficult. Carbon monoxide is highly explosive. Carbon monoxide is poisonous. Carbon monoxide has a specific gravity, a vapor density rather, of 0.97, and Chief, that's right about there, right where you wouldn't want it to be at the nose level. And of course, when you take a look at methane, natural gas, it's about 0.8. It goes way up into the ceiling. The other one is a new item that we've also put into position over the past 7 months, and this is our 10-minute incident command checklist. Go over a couple of the topics that are on there, Chief.
So one of the things, this is something that would be done by the safety officer every 10 minutes, like it says here. And it's basically a checklist to make sure that command has performed these functions, what they have or what they need to perform to make sure the scene is going well. And you can see here we have ensure supply and attack lines, safety officer does a 360, RIT's in position, primary search, control of utilities, staging areas, that kind of thing. If something wasn't checked, that gives something to the incident commander to know, hey, I need to think about this. Do I need to worry about it? Do I need to cross it off? Or do I need to put a check?
It becomes their to-do list, would you? Yeah, that's a great way of saying it. And you'll also notice that there's a mat. And there's a second mat. This will keep us out of the rain, the cold, or I guess it won't keep us out of the rain, but it'll keep us out of the wet area. And what I want to say, though, is when you see the carpets out, that's going to simulate the area that the incident commander needs. I guess not simulate it, but it will point it out. If you're standing on the carpet, it's because you have information to share with the incident commander. If you are in the general area, that's fine. But soon you're going to see radios off, the reason why, so there won't be any feedback. And particularly for at least one of our captains, it's going to say no smoking. There's no smoking at the command post. Pretty important, isn't it? At least it is to me. Now, I was out of sync. We're going to go with the wings. The wings are going to provide us a little bit larger surface area. Along with that, let's get ready with the light and the clock so we can close the lid. Just hang on to it, and you can put it in place if you want, but if you grab the clock also. There we go. So the lid closes. Again, you've got a great writing surface. We've got a clock that's a countdown clock. When Chief starts it, it's going to start at 0001, 2, 3, so we know when you've been in the building for 10 minutes. We're going to work with our communications division, dispatch as we would know it, and see if we can't get a 10-minute notification other than give us a incident update. And that way we will know what's going on. This way we can track the time people are inside the building on an air pack. We can start focusing on whether the building integrity is going to be maintained or whether the building integrity is going to fail. Another major component that Chiefs work so hard on is our accountability board. Our accountability board tells us 6 things. Who the member is,
The time in, time out, and what their tasks are, and who's on the rig, and which rig's there.
what are they doing,
And
what are the
doing?
conditions, what's their passive exit, and has the RIT team been identified? We're going to continue to answer those questions. So the accountability officer, and that's going to be somebody that'll be selected by the incident commander, whether it's the company officer off the 3rd engine or the standby medic unit, doesn't much matter. They're going to run this board, and as you can see, I'm out of the chief's way. So I'm here operating as the accountability officer. I'm taking care of the tags. I'm making sure that everybody gets accounted for. And when he asks, I can tell him exactly where they're deployed. He's continuing to focus on laying out what the plan looks like. We've got the light. You can go ahead and fire up the light. And we're going to put some high density lights on the back of the buggy as well. And as we also mentioned, the clock. At this point, we would be able to monitor exactly what's happening, have a pretty clear idea of where you're at, what you're doing, understand what the strategy, tactics, and incident action plan is, and all that becomes very, very important. And you're thinking, oh my, that's a whole lot of stuff. I think each of the battalion chiefs have been briefed.
Yes.
I think we're going to continue to improve. Next, of course, will be the captains that act as battalion chiefs, and then we'll continue with the captains and the members who act as captains and then all the members. So everybody gets a chance to see, work, and feel. We'll get probably at least 3, if not 4 more of these in the future.
These or this?
This whole setup.
We're getting 5 more of these.
So that all the battalion buggies will have it. And of course, we're the fire department, so we need to have some backup. And if that's not enough, wait, there's more. Soon we're going to have a command cabinet that this is going to fit inside of. It'll be able to hold things like binoculars, as well as radio equipment, any of the other types of research material that you might need, incident action plans. I already mentioned that. The emergency response guide, rather, is what I was hoping for. If there is a pre-plan, all of that documentation will be at the fingertips of the incident commander in our brand new, it's under construction now. It's probably going to take about 6 weeks before it gets here, and that'll be the command containment, the command box that this device goes in. I think you're really going to like that. Chief, do you want to also describe what's going to happen with the waterless markers?
So you can write on this with the alcohol pens and wipe them off. You can do any kind of diagram you want on here. This, whatever's on here, you can match to this surface. So if you have people in staging, you can put them over here by just simply putting a magnet down like this. We can use this surface for different divisions for floors and high-rise structures. And we can do the exact same thing by putting, after I would draw with an alcohol pen.
Now, I never knew those pens actually have alcohol in them. And we would recommend not to drink them, correct?
Correct. So just doing a rough square.
Division 1, Division 2, I got you, I see. And then the same with the tabletop. We can do a, I guess it would be called a topside drawing, if you will.
Aerial view?
Aerial view of the drawing, of course, yep. And what the chief is marking is the different sides, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. Of course, across the top, I personally would put the name of the incident so I don't forget it. So with that said, it's hard to go wrong when it's listed right in front of your face, and it looks like the chief has got it just going on, as they say. Well, have we missed anything?
I don't think so.
I appreciate the time and trouble. As always, we're here to continue to support all the great things that you're doing. This is going to keep us safer. We'll be a lot more efficient, effective, and certainly a lot more professional by having a structured command system. Everybody's going to get a chance to be exposed to this over a period of time, and we're really excited about improving. So until next time, this is Dennis Rubin.
And Chief Hendon.
Thank you for being with us today, and that's the end of this edition of Into the Fire.